So Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un had their summit recently. You can see, this is one of the many pictures that was taken at the summit. And I have many thoughts and feelings on this summit. But what I want to share with you first and foremost is Donald Trump, when talking to Kim Jong-un, broke out a video to show him. Now, already I think that's kind of funny because it's silly, but it's also kind of relatable in the sense that, if I'm hanging out with my friends or something, I'll be like, oh, I want to show you this video. Here, come check it out. And then you pull it up on like YouTube and you're like, see. And Trump did that with Kim Jong-un, but what he showed him was a trailer for the meeting that they were in and for the relationship between North Korea and South Korea and the relationship between North Korea and the U.S. So it was like a fake movie trailer that the White House made in order to show Kim Jong-un to, I don't know, presumably try to get him to denuclearize. So let's watch that trailer and then we'll come back and discuss.
7 billion people inhabit planet Earth. Of those alive today, only a small number will leave a lasting impact. And only the very few will make decisions or take actions that renew their homeland and change the course of history. History may appear to repeat itself for generations. Cycles that never seem to end. There have been times of relative peace and times of great tension. While this cycle repeats, the light of prosperity and innovation has burned bright for most of the world. History is always evolving, and there comes a time when only a few are called upon to make a difference. But the question is, what difference will the few make? The past doesn't have to be the future. Out of the darkness can come the light, and the light of hope can burn bright. What if a people that share a common and rich heritage can find a common future? Their story is well known, but what will be their sequel? Destiny Pictures presents a story of opportunity, a new story, a new beginning, one of peace, 2 men, 2 leaders, 1 destiny. A story about a special moment in time when a man is presented with one chance that may never be repeated. What will he choose? To show vision and leadership? Or not? There can only be 2 results. One of moving back. Or one of moving forward. A new world can begin today. One of friendship, respect, and goodwill. Be part of that world, where the doors of opportunity are ready to be opened. Investment from around the world, where you can have medical breakthroughs, an abundance of resources, innovative technology, and new discoveries. What if? Can history be changed? Will the world embrace this change? And when could this moment in history begin? It comes down to a choice. On this day, in this time, at this moment, the world will be watching, listening, anticipating, hoping. Will this leader choose to advance his country and be part of a new world? Be the hero of his people? Will he shake the hand of peace and enjoy prosperity like he has never seen? A great life or more isolation? Which path will be chosen? Featuring President Donald Trump and Chairman Kim Jong-un in a meeting to remake history, to shine in the sun. One moment, one choice. What if? The future remains to be written.
That is without a doubt the goofiest shit I've ever seen in my life. Now, I want you to imagine for me if Barack Obama had made that exact same trailer, just clearly with pictures of himself instead of Donald Trump, and he showed this to Kim Jong-un, and, it was an attempt to make peace. And they even speak clearly in there about like lifting sanctions and having economic prosperity. So let me get this straight. The pitch from Donald Trump's White House is, let's remove sanctions and help them economically if they promise to denuclearize. That's almost exactly what the Iran deal was. The only difference is that Iran didn't already have a nuclear weapon. So the whole idea of the Iran deal was, let's get a guarantee that they're not going to create a nuclear weapon, and in return for that, we lift the sanctions and give them back their own money, therefore helping their economy. So that's the same concept at work here. So imagine if Obama made that same video. I mean, on Fox News, Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly, although Bill O'Reilly's not there anymore, but at the time they would have screamed, weak, bowing to dictators, apologizing for America. You want to show Kim Jong-un in a positive light and talk about peace? If he wanted peace, maybe he should stop treating his own people terribly. Obama's so sad and weak. But Trump does it, and by the way, we're going to get to these stories a little bit later. I have clips for you, and everybody's a hypocrite in this instance. The nominal left-wing pundits and the right-wing pundits, all complete and utter hypocrites. And that's the thing that's been hard for me to wrap my mind around, is that Donald Trump clearly doesn't have a coherent philosophy guiding him. That's obvious. But to the extent we can ascertain any kind of philosophy, there appears to be a heavy streak of anti-Obamaism. Because if you rip up the peace deal with Iran, but then it looks like you're maybe pursuing one with North Korea that's the same basic terms, that means there's no underlying principle at work here. You're just a reactionary dingbat. And by the way, you're bombing 8 different countries already, so the idea that you're definitely for peace across the board. The Republican Party tweeted something hilarious about how, I'm going to butcher it here, but something along the lines of, real leaders make peace. It's easy to make war. Something like that. And it's like, you're the Republican Party. We're bombing 8 countries right now. If you really believed in that quote, you'd be calling to pull out of those 8 countries. And you'd be calling to, decrease our 900 military bases around the world. But no, they want to increase drone strikes. They want to bomb 8 different countries. They want to keep the 900 military bases. They want to continue to be the world's sole superpower. They want to continue to, make apologies for George W. Bush's illegal war in Iraq, which killed minimum 200,000 civilians, while at the same time tweeting about peace. The fuck are you doing? Now, having said all that, do I prefer what's happening now to the alternative, which is the scariest situation imaginable, which is fucking Mike Pompeo and John Bolton and Mike Pence and the other neocon assholes pushing us to actual war? Oh, fuck yeah. I would much rather have Donald Trump making goofy movie trailers and, bowing before dictators and than have the alternative. So, even though Donald Trump is 100% being ridiculous and there's no coherent philosophy guiding him, I'd much rather have this than bombs in the air. So I'll fucking take it. I'll take it. And again, I can't stand the hypocrites on this. You have a lot of, Rachel Maddow, a lot of nominally left-wing pundits screaming about how, I can't believe you gave Kim Jong-un a photo op. And then they have these just delusional statements about how the U.S. has never treated dictators like this before. Wait, what? We actively support 73% of the world's dictatorships. And by the way, that means we give them money and we give them weapons. So the case with Kim Jong-un is different because it's not like we're giving him weapons or giving him subsidies like we do, for example, with Saudi Arabia and Israel, just to name two. What we're doing is trying to move away from the brink of war. So I'm totally for talking to dictators to get us away from the brink of war. But I'm not for actively subsidizing and giving weapons to dictators. See, that's the difference, and they're trying to conflate it as if it's like the U.S. has never spoken to dictators before, even though we actively support 73% of the world's dictatorships. And so this is unprecedented, but it's also wrong. It's like, well, no, it's not wrong to try to move away from the brink of war with anybody. That's right. That's a good thing. The bad thing is when you actively prop up, monetarily fund dictatorships and give them weapons and give them support. So, even though it's hard to figure out exactly what's going on here, I would much rather have this than what the alternative is. And I think that any Democrats who are trying to position themselves to the right of Trump on this are making a grave mistake. Because that's what's happening. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and so many of the Democrats have released a list of demands about any potential deal with North Korea. And I think those demands are just stupid. Like, for example, whatever deal they want, it has to be permanent. Well, the Iran deal wasn't even permanent. It was whatever it was, 10 to 20 years or something like that. That's how long the IAEA can go in there and check with their weapons and check their the level of enrichment at their nuclear plants. So you want a permanent deal. And by the way, they wanted them not to just give up their nuclear weapons. They wanted them to give up all their weapons, which is not on the fucking table. They need some weapons for a deterrent to Western aggression and to fucking South Korea. That's not me saying Kim Jong-un's a good guy. That's just me saying let's be realistic about the world as it exists. You don't get to demand absolutely everything and have no concessions. And so the many Democrats are positioning themselves to the right of Donald Trump, which is a fucking terrible idea. So ultimately, even though I don't think Trump really knows what he's doing, by the way, he gave up. He was like, oh, you want us to stop the military drills on your border? Fine, I agree. They're provocative and we don't need to do that. Now, I'm in favor of stopping those military drills, but it is true that the way he did it was really clumsy and like shooting from the hip and almost classic Trump, which is just like having verbal diarrhea and accidentally, saying things you shouldn't say. And he's unable to keep his cards close to his chest. There is no strategy. He's just a bumbling fool. So, he kind of gave away a lot of stuff. Now, again, I'm fine with that because I don't think North Korea is even a threat. So I'm fine with even any token concession on North Korea's part. Even if they don't denuclearize, I'd still be in favor of a deal, to be honest. Now, in mainstream media, you're not allowed to say that. You're painted as some sort of kook fringe figure. But the difference is I'm actually acknowledging the real geopolitical situation, which is they're not an offensive threat. They're just not. They know that their country is a gnat on the world stage, and their military budget is 37 cents and a Pop-Tart, and their fucking people are starving. They're not going to poke the beast. They're not going to attack South Korea because they know if they attack South Korea, we attack them, and South Korea attacks them. So, there is a level here of realism that we're dealing with in North Korea. So since they're not an actual threat, and really the real threat is us toppling them, as we've shown. I mean, we toppled Saddam Hussein, we toppled Gaddafi even after he gave up his weapons. Since that's the reality, I'm in favor of any deal. Hey, give me some token concession about, we're not going to do any more missile tests, and you could take away this one nuclear site. Okay, that's fine. And then in return, you want sanctions relief? Yeah. You want us to stop doing fucking exercises on your border? Yeah, I don't think we should be doing those exercises in the first place. So, I'll take it, what's going on here, but I also want to be crystal clear that, the Republicans will try to portray this as like, Donald Trump is a genius, and what he's doing is making a deal, and it's really well thought out, and he's playing chess and not checkers. And I'm here to say the motherfucker is not only not playing chess, he's not even playing checkers. He doesn't know how to play chess or checkers. He's just kind of bumbling around. But again, at the end of the day, if that ends up with any kind of loose peace deal, I'm totally fine with it. So what a weird situation, man. And by the way, Dennis Rodman was in Singapore at the same time that they were having this meeting, and Dennis Rodman went on CNN and was speaking about the deal. And I just couldn't get my mind around the fact that imagine trying to tell somebody in like 2005 what the future holds. Like, oh, by the way, in 2018, fucking Donald Trump is going to be the president, and Dennis Rodman is going to be on CNN talking about the political implications of a peace deal with North Korea. Nobody would believe you. Nobody would believe you. Nobody would believe you. But that's the state of our politics today, which shows you that there are a lot of problems. I mean, maybe we're a little too celebrity obsessed as a country, to say the least. But yeah, very, very weird situation unfolding, and I can't wait to get to the stories where I'm going to lay out for you in great detail how virtually every mainstream pundit on the left and the right is a massive hypocrite over what's happening here.